Welcome to the Anthropocene. We all know that humans are having an impact on the global environment. But did you know that scientists are now debating whether to officially designate the time we now live in as the age of the humans, the Anthropocene? The term the Anthropocene was first coined at the beginning of the millennium and refers to the interval during which human activity has had a discernible impact upon the functioning of the Earth system, causing changes outside of what we would expect naturally. For example, humans now move more soil and rock around the surface of the Earth than things like rivers and landslides do naturally. We've increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere to levels not seen for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. We've increased extinction rates to levels higher than would be seen naturally. Now at the moment we are still in the Holocene epoch of the Quaternary period of the Cenozoic era. But soon the geological timescale may be rewritten with the addition of the Anthropocene. But before this can happen, we need to decide when the Anthropocene began, when humans started to have such an impact on the Earth that we need to designate this new time interval as having started. Humans have been having impacts on the environment for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years. For example, every time humans entered a new continent that they hadn't colonised before, such as Australia about 40,000 years ago, or the Americas about 20,000 years ago, there were extinctions of large mammals, like this giant beaver we see here that went extinct in North America. Are these changes big enough for us to designate the Anthropocene as having started tens of thousands of years ago? Or do we need to look more towards the present day when humans were having bigger impacts on the Earth? For example, in Roman times there was so much lead pollution from mining in Europe that this pollution can actually be seen in the ice cores taken from Greenland. Or do we need to look more towards the last few hundred years? With the Industrial Revolution, CO2 and deforestation started to really rapidly increase. But actually, it is after 1950, when there is rapid industrialisation across the planet, that we see what is known as the Great Acceleration in human impacts. For example, we see increased exploitation of fisheries, increased water use, and depletion of the ozone layer. So, when would you say the Anthropocene started? Finally, just to end on a positive note, even though many of our negative impacts on the environment continue, there is some good news. For example, the acid rain problem that blighted Europe in the latter part of the 20th century is no longer the issue it once was.